All right, we are going to officially call our Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. So that you understand out there, we had trouble with the quorum, but we do have a commissioner on the phone. So now we're going to ask Heidi if she would verify that quorum for us.
AJ Mosqueda.
Present.
Ron Ray.
Present.
Jim Allen. Ken Bauer.
Present.
Danny Bryant.
Here.
Matias Rosales. Scott Maher. Hugo Garcia.
Present.
Bobby McDermott.
Present.
Ron Van Wy. Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Very good. So stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we go further into our meeting to the agenda items, I have this little script that I need to read. If you parked in the rear gated employee parking lot, please move your car out to the front parking lot to avoid having your car locked in when the employees leave tonight. There's no egress from the hallway to the south parking lot, only to the north parking lot out front. All access to the DDS building is limited to staff as a security precaution. If you wish to speak tonight, sign in at the table in the back by the rear door. When you do speak tonight, state your name and your address clearly for the record before you start to speak. And when you speak, address the chairman. I'm acting as chair tonight. Our chairman is not present, so when you speak, address me, and if there's any questions need to be answered, we will ask staff to answer those questions for you, but do not talk to the audience or to staff, please. If you have handouts, give them to staff so that they can distribute them to the commission. Restrooms are just out the doors down the hallway behind us. Feel free to use those as needed. And please, no food or beverages in the meeting room except for water. First item on tonight's agenda, item number is approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes of our April 29th meeting.
Mr. Vice Chair, would you entertain a motion of approving the minutes as they stand?
Yes, Commissioner Mosqueda. Is that a motion?
And Mr. Rice, second.
Mr. Rice, second. Okay, there is a motion by Commissioner Mosqueda with a second by Commissioner Rice to approve the minutes as published. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes are approved as published. Item number 4 on tonight's agenda is the special use permit case number 26-03. Beth Hoffman of Leeward Energy, an agent for Kaya Dateland, Arizona LLC, Langley Dateland Ranches, Arizona LLC, Betavu Holdings, Copper 3 LLC, and the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints request a special use permit. Presenting for the county tonight is
Javier Barraza, Senior Planner.
Javier. Report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for a special use permit per section 601.03T of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow a solar power generating facility, battery energy storage, and associated equipment on 6 parcels that total approximately 2,500 gross acres in size. The properties are zoned rural area 40-acre minimum located in the Dayland East County planning area between the alignments of North County 2nd Street and North County 7th Street, and between the alignments of Avenue 58E and 59E on the north and south sides of Palomas Road in Dayland. The intent is to allow the construction of the Alisa 2 energy project, a photovoltaic solar project which an estimated generating capacity of 200 megawatts and includes a battery energy storage and accessory storage structures. This request, Mr. Chairman, is will replace portion of the SUP 2319, which was previously approved. All they're doing with this is remove the time of 30 years, so no time. Pretty much, it's just the only the intent of the application. There's already an approved SUP on this project, and I will show you this. This is the zoning map. Outlined in red, you will see SUP 2319, and crosshatch is this current SUP 2603. This is an overview on the subject parcels. Outlined in red again is the outline of SUP 2319, and in green SUP 2603, which is the subject of this request. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant. Outlined in black thick line is the site in reference to YPG and different streets. This is a view looking southwest of the Palomas Road. View looking southwest of the existing railroad tracks. View looking northwest of the subject parcels from Palomas Road. A zoom in. And now looking south with the subject parcels from Palomas Road. The staff received comments from ADOT, Arizona Game and Fish Department, and Welton Market Irrigation and Drainage District. Staff was reached out by the Clearinghouse Aviation Operations, requesting more information. That request was forwarded to the applicant because it was technical, was too technical for us to respond. We received one letter in support of the request from the Arizona Technology Council, which is a copy of that letter is in front of you. And no comments from property owners within the zoning notification area were received. This time, staff recommends approval of a special use permit case number 26-03, subject to performance conditions listed on this slide. Also subject to the following operational conditions listed on this slide. They're standard. This operational condition deals with decommission of bond. And this is the requirement of traffic impact analysis. And this is the number 9 is about requiring and following procedures adopted by Union Pacific regarding approvals and granting of cross points and entry rights through Union Pacific right-of-way and easements. Mr. Chairman, this concludes staff's presentation, and the agent is present.
Okay, just for clarification, this special use permit is already in place. The purpose is to extend the time period.
Mr. Chairman, that is correct. It's to have no time. On SUP 2319, there was a 30-year time. At that time, they needed to renew the special use permit. And they decided to apply just on top of this special use permit, a new special use permit to remove that time limit and no time limit.
And staff is recommending approval.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So do you still require a decommissioning bond if there's no time limit?
It's already in place. It's just the same requirements, but if they comply already on SUP 2319, there'll be like deemed as comply with for this.
Any commissioners have questions of staff?
Mr. Chairman, before you keep
Maggie,
going,
yes.
can you ask Commissioner Garcia if he can mute his phone if he's not speaking?
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes, I heard.
Yes, if you could mute the phone, and then when you need to talk, make sure you unmute it, okay?
Okay, will do.
Commissioner McDermott.
Yes. I see that the proposed installation is right along the Gila River. Are there clearances from the folks who manage the river and the Bureau of Reclamation and all that are they planning to go that far with their solar installations to encroach on the river?
Mr. Chairman, I don't think we showed that this property is not near the Gila. We don't have it identified on the maps. we'll to go and check.
Mr. Chairman, the property is around Avenue 69E approximately,
And County Second North,
and on the north and south sides of
Seven-
Palomas Road in the East County, north of Dayton.
oh, I see.
It's showing on the south side of Hyder Road down
Yes,
to,
right here. Yeah.
down into the Gila River. And I don't think that that is something that's appropriate as to putting solar down there. I mean, that there's floodways and various things down there that are, because the road gets flooded out, and certainly the river cannot be impaired, so. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, there will be areas on the proposed parcel that they won't be able to install any solar panels. Probably this is one of them. They did not provide a site plan saying that they will put solar panels on the area specific near the Gila River meandering.
Mr. Chairman, that'll be addressed during the permitting phase. They will have to comply with the flood control district's regulations for any building in the
So
floodplain or.
Commissioner McDermott's concern about the Gila River will be addressed during the permitting process to make sure that nothing impairs the flow of the Gila River. Any other commissioners have questions of staff? If not, this is a public hearing, and we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting tonight and ask if there's anyone tonight who would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request. Yes, sir. Come forward, name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Chairman Bryant. John Fugate, 2428 West 13th Place, Yuma. I'm with the Rod and Gun Club. Normally, when I stand before you talking about solar, we're opposed. This
Mr.
time-
Chairman, excuse me, we've lost our quorum. Oh, he may have come back. When we hear the chirp
see.
there, the call may have dropped, but he may have come
Commissioner
back.
Garcia, are you with us?
Yes, I lost you guys there for a minute, but I called you guys back and
Hey,
I can hear you guys now.
don't leave us now. Hang on.
Please don't leave me, sir.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
All right, just put it on mute for, and then we'll call on you. Okay, thank
No
you.
worries.
Sorry, Mr. Fugate, go ahead.
No problem, Mr. Chairman. Normally, as I was saying, the Rod and Gun Club is here to oppose solar, but just so that we're not sending any mixed messages to not only planning and zoning, but to the supervisors, we're not opposed to solar on private land. We have and always will respect a private landowner, and they have the right to do whatever they want to with their land. The only caveat to that is we've always requested that they work closely with Game and Fish to make sure that there's no impacts to wildlife, specifically in this case, Sonoran and pronghorn. Sonoran and pronghorn are somewhere around 500 roaming free, and not too many years ago there was only 21 left. And our organization has worked very, very closely with Game and Fish to ensure that that endangered species survives. So without further ado, we have been talking with Leeward. They came to our board meeting last Wednesday evening and explained what they were doing with this particular part. And we have a verbal commitment from them to help us address a county road maintenance issue close by. And I just want you folks to know that they've been good partners with us, and I highly advise that do pass vote.
Thank you, Ms. Fugate. Appreciate that. Anyone else here tonight would like to speak concerning this case, either for or against? Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Aaron Selye at 728-07001. I wanted to specifically address the special use permit side of this and its expiration. If we leave something as open as forever, then that means the land is going to be permanently claimed by solar, and even if in the future residents or the community has issue with it, there's no method of redress. As was explained to me several times on the special use permits that we've done in the foothills and for other locations, the expiration allows the community to come back forward and address new or changing issues about the permit itself. I think changing the dynamic of a special use permit into something that has longevity, such as forever, is the wrong direction for the commission to go. I'm not opposed to the solar, I'm not opposed to the project at all, but changing what a special use permit is something I think is not in the best interest of the community or in the commission setting that precedent moving forward. What's to keep anybody else requesting a special use permit for asking for one in perpetuity? This, to me, makes sense to have a termination point at some end that we can redress this at a future date.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair.
sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Anyone else in the audience like to speak concerning this case?
Mr. Chairman, the applicants are here.
Yes, we'll let them speak if they choose. Yes, sir.
I'm Daniel Stewart. I'm with Environmental Sciences for Yuma Proving Ground and 301 C Street, Yuma, Arizona. Not to speak for or against the project. As you're all aware, YPG's always got concerns about electronic interference, electronic background noise for the sensitive things that we test out there. And we are currently working with the applicant on an agreement for disclosure of the type of electronics, particularly things that are collecting data, transmitting data, and things like that. We have template agreements from the DoD clearinghouse to help us kind of guide us along through the process, so we'll know what type of data they're collecting and what type of emissions and transmissions will be coming off of the site, as well as working with them for future disclosure if the project's ever sold, so we know what entities have interest in the project in the future, just for protection of our security and for the protection of our future test mission.
How close is this property to YPG?
There's one of the corners of it is about 1.8 miles, so most of it's just right outside that 2-mile buffer area.
Any other questions?
Yes. I was before on similar property for solar in the same area. There was concern about that a foreign country, China, produces the solar mechanisms, and they could be used to collect information that would benefit them. And the YPG person before had strong feelings against that, and that influenced my vote. How come this isn't being raised on this time?
So we've entered into discussions with the company so they're willing to disclose what type of materials they have, where their panels are coming from, where their SCADA systems and the data collections and stuff that they're going to have for that. And it's ongoing. I mean, we're just starting on the agreement right now, working off the templates from the DoD clearinghouse. So there are approved softwares and materials and things, and from what we understand so far, a lot of the components are American made, that have U.S. software that has been vetted. So there's a lot more for us to look into because there's a lot of engineering still going on their end, and we'll have to have our technical people with the know-how look at it on our end.
Okay, so YPG is comfortable with this from the security point of view?
From a security point, we're getting there.
If we're not comfortable, I don't want to do it then.
We're
like being American.
Yeah, it's ongoing, and right now we don't know what we don't know, but the company's been very forward and ready to work with us.
But you're officially not, I mean, you're not opposing this.
Right, I'm not in a position to oppose or support or
You're just
anything
explaining
like that.
YPG's position.
Right, and just ongoing communication and coordination with them.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Any other questions? If not, thank you, sir. Anyone else that would like to speak concerning this tonight? The applicants present, would they like to speak? Yeah, would you come forward, please?
My name is Beth Hoffman, and my address is 2344 Cabrillo Circle, and that's in Lodi, California.
Very
So,
good.
yeah, did you have specific?
A Californian, welcome to Yuma.
Yeah, thank you. I've been down here a lot. This is going to be our third project that we will be building in the county and hope to build a few more. So we're looking forward to long-term ownership and partnership with the
So
community.
you've heard a bit of concern about perhaps 30 years is long enough, and why would you want to go unlimited? And I want to follow that up with this property, this project could be sold, right?
It's not in our business model,
That's not what I
but
asked
it
you.
could be. Yeah, it's
Could
rare,
be
but
sold.
for our company, but yes.
Right, it
Yes.
could be sold. It could be sold to a foreign country.
Yes, it could be, but it would be unlikely in our
Understand.
case. But you're right. Yeah,
Understand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but forever is a long time.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I did want to address the.
So I'd like for you to
components. Yeah,
address
good.
that concern
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I also have a concern with a project that is 1.8 miles from YPG that could be sold to a foreign entity that we would have no other bite at the apple.
Right, right.
So address that.
Yeah, happy to. So the good news is Leeward actually purchased the solar arm of the business from a U.S. company called First Solar that you may have heard of. They built one of the first solar projects here in the county, the Agua Caliente project years ago, which is right by our White Wing Ranch project. So because of that partnership, strong partnership, they are our module, which are the panels supplier. So we do all American-made panels. They're made in Ohio. And in addition, we buy the tracker systems are made in America, Next Tracker. I forget, somewhere in the east. And the majority of our, like the cabling is made in Kentucky, the copper cabling. So we actually take really great pride in that the majority of our components are made in the US. I'm not an electrical engineer, so there is the communications part where that was brought up. My understanding is typically we have dedicated fiber that is our SCADA, they call it. And again, we're working with Yuma Proving Grounds, and I think that's going well. There's a lot of solar farms already quite close in the area, just kind of right down the street. And the Agua Caliente project's been there for quite some time, as well as a lot of substations. Like you go in that area now, and there's sort of a lot of infrastructure. So I think there can be safeguards put in place, and that's happening nationwide. Our company, I believe, has built projects in other parts of the United States near military installations successfully. So we're based out of Texas, and we understand these concerns, and we share them. So we take them seriously.
What's your country's take on paying property taxes? I understand that there's been lawsuits from some of your friendly neighbors that don't like to pay Yuma County property taxes.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I've heard about that, and I think there's some discussions that are happening right now with the commissioners from the project developers, some other my colleagues in that tax department that are going pretty well. So yeah, I think the commissioners are happy, is my understanding of how those discussions are going.
What commissioners are you referring to?
Let's see, do I have Matt on the line? One of my colleagues couldn't make it because of a flight mix-up this morning, or flight mechanical problems. Are there the public on the line too, or are they allowed to speak, or no?
Public.
Or,
Mr. Chairman, we only have Commissioner Garcia.
oh, okay, on the line. Oh, okay.
One person on the line.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I have the worst memory because I wasn't part of those. He was supposed to be here tonight. But yeah, I think.
Well, I mean, it is a concern. I mean,
Agreed.
look, to ask for a lifetime permission to occupy even private land.
Right, right.
That is 1.8 miles from YPG.
Yep.
That could be sold to a foreign entity that don't like to pay property taxes. I mean, what's in it for us?
Yeah, agreed. I think, again, these conversations are going on, and I think my understanding is too, Leeward would be okay with putting a term limit on it. It's just how the market's going right now. 30 years is not typically quite long enough. It's just on the cutting edge, especially when, let's say the SUP is issued in 2 months and 30-year clock starts. These things take time to finance and build, et cetera, so that 30-year clock starts getting shorter. And that's actually what happened with the original SUP. The clock started ticking. and we are now at 20-something. So, I mean, we would be comfortable putting a time limit on it, but more maybe in the 50-year range if possible, because of this unknown construction start date.
Right, there's a lot of unknowns, but we face more unknowns than you do.
Right, right.
I mean, we don't know who's going to own the property and whether they're
Right.
going to pay property taxes or not, right?
Right, right.
So, but why couldn't you come back after 15 years and then try to extend for another 15 years?
Usually my understanding is the way the financing works, it has to sort of pencil out for the life of the project. They're quite expensive to install, and it's almost like having a bond instead of a stock. You get your money, you put a lot of investment up front, and you slowly get paid back over time because the sun comes out every day. So if there's a horizon that's shorter than the time you need, you can't get financing.
So staff,
Won't get built.
do we have any solar projects with SUPs that we've gone longer than 30 years?
Mr. Chairman, there's a few that have no time limits, others that have the 30 years, that was the standard. Don't cannot enumerate which ones are no time and others which one has. This is the SUP 2319 has the 30 years. And in first conversations, when I started talking with with the agent for Balance Rock for 2319, they were looking at 50 years now that area, but they came after they started talking to the investors that a 50-year will be more instead of the 30 years.
Any other commissioners have questions? Yes, Commissioner Rice, and then we'll go to.
I'm with our good president. I don't understand why you want unlimited when you're very willing to put on, say, a 40-year or 50-year, some kind of limit. I won't accept an unlimited deal. I just can't vote for that.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
You're willing, your company's willing to say, okay, we can live with X number of years.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I understand the credit limits and the loan portion, and that's very commonplace.
Yep.
But to do this and ask for unlimited, I can't do that.
Yeah, and maybe that was a mix-up with how we.
Mr. Chairman, in the original request, they were talking about 40 to 50 years, and it is under the intent.
I would want to, before I vote for anything, I want a definite year. I don't want to maybe.
Yeah, I think we can absolutely come to agreement on that.
So staff would be okay with a 40-year time limit?
They need 50 years according to the original conversations, but they under intent they quote 40 to 50.
Mr. Chairman, that can be included as part of the motion.
The amount of time that we're
Yes.
comfortable with recommending that the supervisors do. I mean, yeah, this will be a recommendation that goes to the Board of Supervisors, and their limited, their unlimited capacity will be able to determine, and maybe they don't have some of the same concerns we do, or perhaps they're worse, but Commissioner McDermott, you're.
Yeah, I have a great concern about an unlimited area. Because it would also then affect cleanup and things like that. I cannot vote for unlimited either. And I realize that in construction projects, you can't control everything, but that's part of what you do. And the fact that it was approved in 24, but you're not gonna be able to get to it now, is not really our concern. To me, 30 years is a very reasonable length of time for a project like this, because we've seen them come and go. So it's, even though the good intentions are there, they are not, they certainly are not bulletproof. But the other thing is, what is the benefit to Yuma County and the citizens, particularly if there's a tax relief involved? I mean, then we're just giving stuff away, and I definitely cannot vote for that, because that's part of the 7% private land that we have in Yuma County. It used to be White Wing Ranch, and
In the defense of the applicant, I think, since this is on private land, I think that our assessor would be doing
There's no tax.
assessing, as opposed to when it's on state land, the state does the assessing.
Correct.
And that's who got sued and got the taxes rolled back last time. So maybe our assessor would be.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
excuse me, the tax question has not been public noticed.
Well, we're not debating whether we're gonna tax it or not, we're just talking about it. So I appreciate your concern though. But, our assessor would probably have authority to assess this project as opposed to the state. But we don't know that for sure.
I just, this seems to have a lot fewer boundaries than most of the projects we look at, and I'm concerned about that.
Any other commissioners have questions?
I do.
Yes, Commissioner Garcia.
Okay, so just a question I'm trying to understand. So who's gonna, if they're going for 30 years, they want 40 years, who's gonna maintain that land? Because, we've been having trouble, with all dumping trash and all that stuff. And if that piece of land is granted to them, who's gonna maintain it?
The applicant?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So as we discussed earlier, this is a very significant investment up front, and we slowly get paid back over time, but it's very dependable. Solar is not new. It's been around since the 70s, and it's very proven technology. So we take very good care of our power plants. We own and operate, so we have 3 to 4 full-time technicians on site, and we hire lots of local weed control, weed management. We can't let fire materials build up. We can't let excess vegetation. We absolutely can't. It's a high voltage power plant. So yeah, I totally appreciate your concern, but yeah, we take our pride of ownership, and we absolutely have to in order for our investment to pencil out.
Okay, but you guys take care of the land when there's something built on it. But while there's nothing built on it, who takes care of the land?
Oh, you mean before the start of construction?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's private property now, so it's owned by, we are actually leasing this land from the current farmers, that were formerly farming the land. So currently it's private property and they're in charge. And then, of course, we have some lease agreements with them, so it's sort of a joint tenancy at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, one other thing that concerns me is the desert washes that are south of Paloma Road and things like that, and how the water runoff is managed. Changes to the natural waterways that run into the Gila River, and there are a lot of them right on there, and that because it's illegal to change the flow of a natural.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I almost wanted to raise my hand back there when you brought it. So that southern parcel that's currently owned by the Church of Latter-day Saints, and that southern parcel is primarily going to be used for the switchyard and the substation, which I think Yuma Proving Grounds will be happy to hear, because that's the main sort of brains of the operation. So that's the furthest away from the Yuma Proving Ground, south there of Palomas Road. So only the very northern portion of that parcel south of the railroad will be developed. Currently there's no plans for panels there. And furthermore, we're not even getting close to the Gila River. That whole sort of second half or southern half of that parcel is likely to remain undeveloped completely. So yeah, and that was a good question.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant?
If we said 30 years, would you?
That would be tough. The 30-year one is becoming harder now because of how the financing is working.
40?
40 would be better. 50 would be even best. But yeah, we could meet in the middle somewhere, definitely. Yeah, the time horizons are getting longer. The panel technology is better. Now you're adding batteries, and they're just good power plants. They're quiet. They're a quiet neighbor. And now we're doing lighter on the land construction techniques, where we're keeping some of the native vegetation under and trying to bring back desert pavement. We have some test methods we're doing on a BLM project down the street, which are looking really promising. So yeah.
How many data centers will this power?
Yeah, hopefully none. Sorry, whoops. So I mean, I was actually looking just before this call. The Hoover Dam originally was 2 gigawatts. Now it's down to 1 gigawatt, and it's about to go down to 380 megawatts. And you know, our company has built 4 gigawatts nationwide of solar, so we're pretty proud about that. And it's quiet, clean. After it's built, life finds a way, and
What's
it's
the
actually pretty.
expectation of start date?
Estimation of start date is ideally starting construction later next year, if possible, mid to late next year.
Financing's close.
You know, these power plants aren't like building a strip mall or a housing development, because you have to work with the utility, and then you have to have a buyer of the power. So typically it's a big utility, usually, you know, maybe one of the ones here. And so there's a lot of sort of moving parts that everybody has to come together. So it's painful in the beginning to get all that to align.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just wanted to thank you and look forward to working with you. Again, we built the White Wing Ranch project. We're about to build a project on BLM land, which now there's some new tax and profit sharing, not profit, lease sharing. I don't know if you guys knew about that.
A little bit about it.
Yeah, so that BLM, you guys get like half or whatever it is. And, you know, and we have some other in development. So we look forward to being here for the long term.
Well, thank you for coming and sharing the project with us. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Thanks. Anyone else like to speak concerning this project tonight? If not, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Got it right here. You two at the time.
Commissioner Rice.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this without the unlimited, that we put a time limit. I would suggest 40 years rather than the.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I will second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rice with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to recommend approval of this special use permit case number 20-6-03 as amended, and that amendment is to, with a time limit not to exceed 40 years. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The recommendation is unanimous. We will move to item number 5 on tonight's agenda. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda, special use case number 26-02. STC Construction LLC, agent for Divine Holdings LLC, requests a special use permit per section 613.03 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. Presenting for the county tonight is
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner.
Richard. Report, please.
This request is to rezone a parcel 10 acres in size from, whoa, this is the wrong one, hold on. Javier set me up. Can't trust anybody nowadays. All right, so this is a special use permit request per section 61303G to allow marijuana establishment on a parcel 1.15 acres in size, zone light industrial. It is located within the 75 decibel noise zone, and a portion of it is located within the APZ1. It's located at the northeast corner of Avenue 3E and 32nd Street. The subject property is here. It's identified by the crosshatch in red. It's zone light industrial. Blue is also zone light industrial. Green is heavy industrial. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. The site plan shows the building is located outside of the APZ1 with the parking located within the APZ1. Access is shown off of Avenue 3E. This is an aerial photo of the property, and the access is off of 3E. Comments were received in opposition by the City of Yuma. They provided a letter, which you should have in front of you. 2 letters in opposition came from property owners within the notification radius. Parcel 14 identifies as an educational facility, which is a trucking school. And parcel 11 is the location of an adult bookstore, and they are concerned about easements. Staff is recommending approval of this request based on the request being in compliance with a comprehensive plan, subject to the following performance condition and schedule for development shown on the screen. That concludes my report.
Do any commissioners have questions of staff?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner McDermott?
Under the development evaluation checklist, it indicates a score of 213, which is a disapproval. But the form in the package says it's rated at 300. So I'm concerned about that. And I likely be denied, and I would go along.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that the 213 in the development checklist is for the rezone. It's for the rezoning for a different case. It's for RZ 2602. It's for the case coming up. The DEC for this special use permit should be 300.
And the checklist is also in the packet, and it says 300. So I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. Why would
Maybe they got at the wrong position in your file.
Yeah, on page 4, right up under the development checklist,
On item number 6.
at 213, but if you look at the actual environmental checklist that they put in there, it says it's 300. And that's not, what's right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
special use permit case has a development evaluation checklist that is attached to your agenda. And it indicates a score of 300.
That's what I'm saying.
Rezoning case 2602 has a development evaluation checklist that is attached to the packet, and it has a score of 213 points.
Yes, I think maybe they got yours out of line because that should be on item number 6 is the score is 213.
Mine's showing 300.
Mine's showing 300.
Same.
So they just got that one out of place. It should, that 213 should be on item number 6.
Because one's a
Item
special
number
use and
6
one's a
is the
rezone.
No, we're on item number 5 right now.
So which is it? It's 300?
Item number 5.
Should be
and
item
it's
number
300.
5.
And it's 300 in all of our packets, yeah. Any other commissioners have questions of staff? If not, we will open the public hearing portion of the meeting. In the public hearing portion, we'll ask if there's anyone here. First, we'll give the applicants if they would like to speak first. Would the applicants prefer to speak first or wait for last? Speak first. The applicant can come forward and speak.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Stacy Green, 2704 West 10th Place in Yuma. I am here today as an agent for Divine Holdings, who would be the owner. Jars Cannabis would be the operator of this facility. This is a relocation. They have a current facility in Yuma County already that is operating over on County 15th, and they are looking to move into a greater area of Yuma County. They were given a license to operate only in Yuma County, so they're very limited in where they can be located. We have already had a project assessment meeting to make sure that this meets all the parameters of being far enough from all of the residences and all the other concerns, churches, schools, and all of that. This is a very unique parcel, as they brought up. There's a large part of it that is even undevelopable, if that's even a word. I'm nervous up here, I apologize. But as you can see, that's why we went ahead and laid it out with the building being down in the lower part and being able to put, who else needs 39 parking spaces in Yuma. Apparently, the dispensary does. So I know there's been some concerns, but it's very unique. It's somewhere they need to relocate. I apologize. They wrote me a whole script. I don't do well reading off of that. So I can answer any questions that you have. I know that we have talked to many of the people. You mentioned that the business to the north of us has an issue. I have actually talked with them and they no longer have an issue. They were concerned about the easement, which is hashed out in here. What was happening is the current property owner, because they are purchasing this property, the current property owner installed some gates and kept shutting it on them, so locking them out of their business. That's not going to be a problem moving forward if this is the new occupancy. So.
Any commissioners have questions of the applicant? This was on our agenda last month and we moved it to
Correct.
this month in order to, I believe, give you time to do some outreach with the community.
Well, yes. So Jars Cannabis has quite a few dispensaries in, I don't know how many states they're in. And so what they felt that the best thing to do is I have quite a few up in Phoenix and stuff, is they get their land use attorney involved. And so there was a city letter in opposition. So they wanted to put a hold on it so that they could talk to the city administrator and the city mayor and find out what their concerns were. We had a meeting today at 2:00 with the land use attorneys and we heard no new update, that they haven't had any kind of conversation, been able to clear any air. I know that there's been some discussion about the fact that since this dispensary is recreational only, not medical, that they can't be in the city anyways. As I said, we had a project assessment meeting. We meet all the criteria to be able to operate inside this location in Yuma County. And so that's why we've decided to try and move forward with this location. At that time, I was able to talk to the adult store and they told us their concerns. They've now removed those concerns. And I've had quite a few conversations with Supervisor Lines, about this parcel. I know he has some concerns about its location to the Marine Corps base, but when we did have our meeting with the Marine Corps base on our project assessment meeting, they had no concerns. I believe the concern primarily is in regards to the temptation in the location that it's in, and I don't know what else to do about that. They've proposed to put walls up around it to kind of minimize the view, but I don't know what else we can do. Like I said, they are currently a licensed business in Yuma. They do good money, but they feel like they could do better money if they were in off of the edge of Somerton there.
Anyone ask questions? Commissioner Rice.
You made the statement that you can't operate within the city of Yuma. Why?
Their location requirements, well, actually, I'll be honest with you. I had a conversation with the city when I was trying to figure out, just like I did here, what the distances were from everything we needed to stay away from to be able to find land. And I received a call back from planning and zoning at the city telling me, good luck, you'll never find land. The only one dispensary is here, and that's the only one allowed. So we kind of got shut down there. I've always preferred to work in the county anyways. I've done a lot of building in the county. I'm only the contractor. I have no affiliation other than I built their last building and they came back and said, will you build me another one? So I'm just here to represent because they're up in Phoenix and in California. The other thing is because they are only recreational, they're not medicinal. And apparently you have to do medicinal dispensary to be in the city.
Any other questions of the applicant? Well, thank you for coming and sharing, and if we need more, we'll call you back after we hear from the public.
Appreciate that.
This is a public hearing part of our meeting tonight. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak concerning this case? Yes, sir. Name and address for the record.
Antonio Martinez, Marine Corps Station, Yuma. So, once again, officially, we cannot deny, approve, or request approval or request denial for this. It's actually a compatible use for the location. They're right outside the clear zone. When you see that line, That's the accident potential zone 1. So initially, they had their building in that area, so we requested them to actually move that out of the imaginary accident potential zone. Now, there's some things that we have a concern, especially with this plan, is that they have some type of I think plants or trees on our side. So right adjacent on 3E, we call it the railroad spur. That's actually the railroad that belongs to the Department of the Navy. So that's our land. So obviously we request that that is left untouched, and that there's no palm trees also placed in that area, because birds and planes don't get along well, especially at that altitude going from the clear zone to the APC 1. And one last thing would be, actually two last things. If there's any type of stormwater containment to ensure it doesn't go into the railroad as well, we are very protective of that piece of land. And lastly, to make sure there's an easement in place for where it says the existing asphalt drive aisle, to make sure there's an easement in there in place saying that they're allowed to cross that line. So that's the only thing we actually requesting, to keep that area clear, that there's nothing being erected that can actually attract any type of birds, and that any storm water is actually kept away from those railroads.
Okay, Tony, thank you. Let me ask staff while you're there. You've heard that the request. Do we have enough ability in the permitting process to make sure that those requirements are met? I mean, do we have a way of limiting the trees so that they don't attract the birds, and making sure the groundwater or the water is retained or not, doesn't go onto the railroad track? Can we do that?
I'm going to say yes to that. They would provide their plans, and then part of that plan would require screening and buffering, and I would be able to.
Expecting that the builder would try to make sure that happens as well. Okay. Anything else, Tony?
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
So I am part of a quarterly meeting where we actually assess any type of locations that are off limits for active duty service members. So that could be like any places where there's either high crime, or we see any type of gang involvement, or anything that might be, putting our Marines or sailors in danger. So what we do is we have an area or areas that are off limits, and those are provided to all the service members that are actually stationed here, or during WTI or any deployment for trainings coming into the area. They're provided those locations so they know that those locations are not authorized for them. Any dispensary is not authorized for service members. So they already know if it says dispensary out there, if they go in, they are going against the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and they will be dealt accordingly.
So that's just kind of as a notice to the operators, don't expect our Marines to be stopping by.
And if they will, they won't be Marines anymore.
It's off limits. All right, anything else, sir?
That's it. Thank you.
Any questions of anyone of Tony?
For Marine Corps Station Yuma.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to speak concerning this special use permit? Seeing no one, we'll close our public hearing and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action on special use permit case 26-02.
Yes, Vice Commissioner. I'd like to propose a motion that we accept this case with the consideration of the Marine Corps concerns as presented. So we approve it.
There is a second. So we have a motion by Commissioner Bowers with a second by Commissioner McDermott to recommend approval of this special use case 26-02 as presented by staff, and with the comments that were included from the Marine Corps Air Station with their concerns. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
are you for aye or opposed?
For an aye.
Aye, okay. Any opposed?
Aye.
So, the ayes have it. The recommendation moves forward to the supervisors with one dissent. Item number 6 on tonight's agenda, rezoning case number 28-02. Viella Dupre, agent for Randy Brown, requests the rezoning of a parcel 10 gross acres in size from rural area 10-acre minimum to light industrial. 5-acre minimum LI 5. Tonight's presenter for the county is
Richard Munguia, senior planner.
Richard. Go.
This request is to rezone a parcel 10 acres in size from RA10 to LI5, light industrial 5-acre minimum. It is located within 70 decibel noise zone, and the location is approximately 650 feet or 670 feet west of Avenue 4E on the south side of the alignment of the County 12.5 Street in Yuma. And the intent is vehicle storage. The subject property is here in red, in crosshatch, and it's zoned RA10. Blue to the south is zoned light industrial, 2-acre minimum. Yellow is SR2, which is Sinclair Ranch subdivision. Green is RA10, and to the north, the purple is PD. It's Citrus Business Park. This is an aerial photo of the property. The subject property does have legal access from County 12.5 alignment, though the physical access is unclear. This is the legal access. The physical access appears to be less than the width of one-way traffic. The canal road is not public access. Legal access would be difficult through this area. Additionally, at the end of the block wall, there is a concrete lined irrigation ditch that would hinder access to the subject property as well. Comments were received by MCAS. Vehicle storage is a compatible use within the 70 to 75 decibel noise zone. One letter and one petition were received in opposition. The petition had 24 signatures. 5 property owners within the notification area were opposed. And this is outlined in red is the opposition. Staff is recommending approval of this request based on the request being in compliance with the comprehensive plan, subject to the following performance condition and schedule for development, shown on the screen. And that concludes my report.
Commissioners have questions of staff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go first.
Commissioner Bowers first.
How are the vehicles going to enter these 5 acres? I was out there today, and there's that little canal road that my Chevy Silverado barely fit on, and I assume these are going to be like tractor trailer rigs.
I would also assume that if it's vehicle storage, so an option, the applicant has discussed different options, and I'm not sure if they've discussed with engineering as well. But one solution could possibly be access from the south parcel, or parcels to the south. There's currently a cul-de-sac. Maybe that could be extended. Access could be granted through there.
I'm confused that they want approval for something, but I don't understand how it works if they can't access it. I mean, shouldn't we have an idea?
Mr. Chairman, there is right-of-way along the north. However, it would be difficult to establish physical access through the north area. It is up to them to obtain or acquire easements and ingress and egress easement to obtain access to the property physically. That's up to them. We cannot design it for them. They would have to provide us with proof of easements, proof of access prior to development of the property.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner McDermott.
If you flip back to the actual picture. Yeah, okay. You got quite a steep slope there. If the road is supposedly along that concrete block wall, to me it's way premature to assess or to rezone the property behind for use when it doesn't have a road. And there was nothing in the write-up from staff that indicated that they had to have a legal access. I mean, they have legal access, but they have no road. And that just doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't know where the canal edge, the property, I'm not sure if that is a farmer-owned canal or if it is a Bureau of Reclamation project canal. And do we know that?
Yes, it's a Bureau of Reclamation.
Okay, I really, yeah, I cannot in good conscience, unless they get a clearance from BOR to put a road in there, to rezone it. It would be a nightmare, and particularly to have a two-way road, because people, it didn't indicate what was going to be stored there other than vehicles. But if you're talking anything larger than a car, you're not gonna have a road wide enough there with the Bureau Canal right there. So, thank you.
Yes.
Item number 2 of the schedule for development addresses the requirement to obtain legal access to the property, physical and legal access.
So, to clarify, Commissioner McDermott's concern is it might not be usable once rezoned. That could be true, because you're requiring them before they could use it to solve this problem. If they can't solve it, it doesn't matter how it's zoned. That's staff's position. They can't use it if it, but you're saying that it does fit, even though it had a 213, it does fit the county's land use regulations.
Chairman, if they address and resolve the access concerns, ingress and egress easement, both physical and legal access, then that development evaluation
Door
checklist
goes up.
goes up.
Okay. Anyone else have questions?
And we put that in our proposal.
He already has.
Item 2 of the schedule for
He
development.
already has it in there.
Where are you seeing that? I'm not seeing that.
Item 2 of the schedule for development, page
Page 1, 2, 3, 4.
Condition 2.
Page 5 of 5.
Page 5 of the staff report, under the performance conditions. Item number 2, and then item number 2 of the schedule for development.
Okay.
Okay.
They have to improve whatever egress and ingress they determine, they have to have it approved.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Is there an
Commissioner.
obvious place to have this entrance and exit going on? I mean,
Again, Mr. Chairman, they could do it off of County 12 3/4
Correct.
street along the, shown on the south side there, not directly to the south of the property, but about
yeah, so they have
an
to.
eighth of a mile.
And what Maggie's saying is they could get an easement from the neighbor next door, perhaps on any of the sides, and get in there. But unless they do, they're not gonna be able to be approved.
Yes, it's up to them to obtain legal access to the property.
Any other questions of staff?
Yeah,
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, I still, and I have a problem with the checklist too, because there's obviously going to be a dust problem unless it's paved. The PM10 problem, there on the mesa, you're going to have traffic in and out. Unless they're just going to park them there forever. So, I think we're inadequately protecting the neighbors from. It's not like it's going to be farmland and it'll be irrigated and it'll be kept under control for dust.
Any other questions of staff? If not, let's open the public hearing portion of the meeting and see what folks have to say. Is the applicant with us? Would you prefer to speak first or after? Doesn't matter. let's hear from the community. Just hear from the community, and then you can address any concerns that you hear. How's that? Anyone in the community here tonight want to speak concerning this rezoning or this rezoning case 26-02? Yes, sir. Yeah, we can pass them down. All right, name and address for the record, please.
Marisa Heinz, 12520 South Avenue 4E. Okay, now that right there, could you put back to that one?
This one?
That's our home right there. And that, the way the photography is, that looks very wide. It's not very wide. And also, she was wondering about where the canal is. May I point it out?
Sure.
Okay, this concrete line right here, that's the far side of the canal on the north. Okay? And this right here is, if you have the photography right, it comes along here. This does not go back clear to the north-south canal.
Okay, you need to come back to the microphone.
I want to thank you for allowing me to speak. The 10-acre property location referenced in this case butts up on the east against 4 2-acre properties on which there are occupied homes on the original Sinclair Ranch site. And if you could, Mr. Munguia, could you put up to the colored one? Those 4, the yellow ones, we are that number 8 at the top in the picture that you had up there a while ago. Further on the south on Sinclair are another 4 2+ acre properties also having occupied homes. And those homes are shown here exactly. Well, there's some other pictures there too besides that. These 8 properties comprise the original 20-acre Sinclair Ranch. For a time, this Sinclair Ranch was surrounded by citrus trees on 3 sides, north, west, and across Avenue 4E to the east. Over the course of time, the Citrus Business Park was established on the north side. The business park is generally quiet at night, but high-powered lights from several businesses shine out brightly all night long, lighting up the 8 Sinclair homes and surrounding structures. We are in contact with County Planning and Zoning to see if the lights can be readjusted to shine downward to comply with the dark skies ordinance. Now we get notification via mail that the owner of this 723-24-091 wants to rezone from ag to light industrial for a 5-acre minimum to allow for vehicle storage. This sounds as though it would require the use of lights for security purposes, and vehicle storage can quickly turn into an eyesore, more commonly known as a junkyard. And if you would reference the one photo, that one that she's looking at right there, that is on Avenue 3E and just north of County 13th. And I would assume that that is vehicle storage. That looks like a junkyard to me. The gentleman that owns to the green spot up here, Joe Bell, he pointed out that vehicle storage can attract rodents. Rodents, as you know, attract fleas, and as we know recently, fleas pass along hantavirus, and among other things like bubonic plague. And sure, it's a far cry of what could happen, but anyway, we reference these photos from a property on Avenue 3E like that she was looking at. Now, we don't want this behind us, not the lights, not the view, not any additional noise. It looks like a dump. And we, the undersigned, there are 24 signatures here, and I couldn't get them all, not everybody was home. We would ask you, would you want this in your backyard? And another issue that you've been discussing, that these 10 acres are landlocked. There's no legal ingress or egress to this property. Joe Bell has the property line, the only road in there, and he does not plan on selling that at all. It would have to come from the south on that one space there, the number 87 down there, right above Mr. Munguia's head. Those people would have to allow them to use that. Now, this property has had trees on it before. It's had an okra crop. It still has residue of a cotton crop in it. And so that's fine. We don't mind that. We don't know how, or if it mattered, maybe Mr. Bell allowed harvesters in there. I don't know. But anyway, there were crops there. We'd love to see trees in there so that it would dim out some of those lights that have come in on. And if you see that property there with the lights, wherever that light is, that picture is, that's what we have in our backyard every night. So we would like for it to remain agricultural, and we would appreciate that very much, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions of the speaker? No, thank you for coming and to share with us.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to share with us tonight? Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Excuse me. John Edmondson, 12540 South Avenue 4E. Maurice's neighbor. We bought that property. We bought our house about 5.5 years ago. Moving from the city. I did law enforcement in the city of Los Angeles for 30 years, 12 years as chief of police out at the college, finally retired after 42. I bring that up because we moved to the county because it's not the city. What we're seeing transition, even with Citrus Park to our north, it keeps growing, which adds to the light pollution we're seeing now. Our concern is two, light pollution, noise pollution, and the dust. Because if you look at the description we received in the mail, it's not really succinct. The other concern is we're one of the small ranches, which we actually use the ditch we use the B55 Edwards 03 ditch off the main canal. I don't see how you transition a 6 foot wide over the ditch, especially if you're going to try to come in next to Maurice's property. So I'm just thinking, I don't think this is practical the way it's at least been presented to us. Apologize for being nervous, but I haven't had to present now for 7 years, starting to councils, so I apologize for that. But I was just thinking this needs more follow through and more succinct. This is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of this speaker? Thank you for coming and sharing with us. Who else would like to speak tonight concerning this rezoning case?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Shannon Aaron Moore, 12540 South Avenue 4E, John's wife. I know that there are a lot of things that have to go into planning. I'm growing a business in Yuma myself, and I've been in front of councils in the city because my business is in the city. But my main concern is that John and I had an opportunity when he retired and I was developing Wild Like a Girl, a community project. We chose to live where we live because of the peace, and we were surrounded by citrus and had job opportunities to move all over the country and other countries, and we chose this area because of the peace and quiet. And I know that I cannot control progress, and we want progress in Yuma. However, I think one of the charms of Yuma is that we still have some space and some beauty. And I'm just really asking, if you have any friends that want to buy that agricultural yard and put some trees back in it, we would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Anyone have questions of the speaker? No, thank you. Anyone else like to speak tonight concerning this rezoning case 26-02? Yes, ma'am, come forward. Name and address for the record.
My name is Belia Dupree, and I live at 3023 West 28th Place here in Yuma, and I am the agent for Mr. Randy Brown. And I'm going to read for you the following. He kind of told me what to say. And okay, so I'm appearing on behalf of Mr. Randy Brown, the owner of the subject property. We respectfully request the approval of the proposed zoning change to light industrial. The purpose of this request is to accommodate a planned business investment involving vehicle and equipment storage, a use that is more appropriately served under the light industrial zoning designation. This request is consistent with the surrounding area and existing land use patterns. The neighboring properties include industrial and light industrial uses, making the proposed zoning compatible with the character, I'm nervous too, and development of the area. The request zoning will allow the property to be utilized in a manner that is both reasonable and consistent with nearby properties. With regards to the access concerns, we acknowledge that there are questions regarding the northern access route. However, access to the property is available at this time through the parcel located to the south, and I have obtained authorization from the owner and the person that is representing the owner is here, of that property for access purposes. Any improvements, clearing, or restoration necessary for the northern access route will be addressed by the property owner when development of the project moves forward. The existence of temporary access conditions should not prevent consideration of the zoning request itself, as access issues can be resolved as part of the future development process. Approval of this zoning change will provide me, Mr. Brown, with the opportunity to move forward with a business investment that can contribute to economic activity and future development within Yuma County while remaining compatible with surrounding land uses. We respectfully ask for your favorable consideration and approval of this request. Thank you for your time and consideration. Yes, yes.
Yes, Commissioner McDermott.
What's he gonna store there?
Vehicles for just, he's going to tow them there and storage them. But he can explain more the nature of the business.
So let's see if there's any more questions. Is there any other
I
questions?
can
of
stay
this
here.
applicant?
Any more questions for me?
Yes,
I'm
lighting.
so nervous, I'm sorry.
Lighting, how much lighting do you plan for?
We need the, we are in development. We need to find out first if the zoning will be allowed, and then we will ask permissions for whatever is allowable for that type of business. The owner to the south already have that business. So we are kind of getting into a partnership. So.
Commissioner Rice.
Do you project having a fence around this property?
Yes, sir. What type of fence?
You have to talk to us. We'll let him come up in a minute.
He can explain better that part, sir.
Any other questions of this? So thank you. If we need you further, we'll call you, and then I'll ask if there's anyone else who would like to speak concerning this property. Come forward, name and address for the record,
Thank you very
please.
much for your time.
Juan Villegas with, I'm at 901 West 15th Street. I'm very familiar with the whole area in this. I helped Mr. Quintero with the development of the roads and stuff, and and when he was able to acquire the light industrial and the heavy industrial on the south side of this property, 723-24091. And there is a whole asphalt entrance on the south side of 12 3/4. The property south of this, which is 88 and 89, they are now, which is the bottom ones below that, they are now owned by Parker Towing, which is what they do is when there's a wreck, the police calls them. When there's anything that happens with the police department, they call them, and then they pick up the vehicles. People will pick up the vehicles from those two parcels now. And in association with Mr. Brown, the owner of those two parcels, I have a letter stating that he would allow access. I can bring this
So
forward.
can I ask you a question? Are you telling us that the people that operate Parker Towing on 88 and 89 are going to operate this property the same way that property's operated?
Possibly, yes, sir. They want to get into business.
Possibly, but you don't know for sure.
Yes, we're looking at that. If we're able to get the zoning changed, they are looking at doing that. Of course, there will be a chain link fence all the way around the property. Make sure that there is whatever needs to be complied with the Yuma County rules and for that particular business. The reason for the change is due because of in an email from Mr. Barraza, he stated that we needed to get that zone changed instead of just operating under that particular business there, that we need to get the zone changed.
So does the people at Parker Towing on 88 and 89, do they have exterior lighting?
As of now, they're working with APS because they have to bring in they've already started setting up the lighting, but
There's no power to the property.
There's no power to the property yet.
Okay, that's all. Anyone else have questions of this?
Yes, and so 88 and 89 are already vehicle storage.
Yes, they are.
And then next to that one is the screen, this, I think it was 86. Is that a residence then?
No, 86 is actually, 86 is high industrial, which is
Okay.
zoned for, basically what they do is, I believe they do, environmental, I can't remember what it was that they really do, but it's high industrial.
The picture, the actual photo of that property.
I'm trying.
Which is,
He's lost control of technology.
anyway.
It's just, yeah, it froze.
There we go.
Okay, which picture would you like?
Where it's the actual picture.
The aerial photo. There you go.
That picture.
So 86 it's just actually just a trucking company. The owner just stores his semi trucks and everything like there. The bottom one below that, which is 87, is a high industrial, and he does some kind of environmental stuff. The one to the right is elevation plumbing, and they just built their entire business there now. And then the two east parcels are owned by Parker Towing.
They currently have vehicles parked?
They do, yes, they do.
So this photo is somewhat old then, there's no vehicles there.
Not very many vehicles, because they just, they started moving in, before this, they were actually on Arizona Avenue and 16th Street, north of 16th Street.
So-
And so when they purchased this property, they're starting to move the vehicles over there now.
What's the difference in your vocabulary of a vehicle storage and a junkyard?
There's a difference because you're not dismantling any vehicles. The vehicles are not being dismantled. The vehicles are stored there until the owner picks it up, and if they don't pick them up within 30 days, then the vehicles are sold to a wrecking yard. And a wrecking yard would require it for you to have a high industrial zoning, which we wouldn't be able to have that because it's a light industrial. And that's all we're requesting is the light industrial.
The LI district would not allow a wrecking yard?
No.
Or a junkyard?
No.
Is that correct, Maggie?
That's correct.
The other that I was able to research is everything on the north side of the canal, which is PD, planned development. They're all industrial properties. They're all parcels are industrial, which I understand what they're talking about the lighting, but some of those properties are cooling plants, and some of those work very late at night and sometimes very early, because that's where where the harvesting is picked up and it's delivered there late at night and picked up early in the morning. So it's just not even 500, 600, 700 feet away. And I was able to look at all the properties and find out where all the properties were, they're light industrial.
Any other commissioners have questions of this applicant, or this spokesperson for the applicant? Commissioner McDonough.
Did I hear you say that, so that whatever's hauled in there, they can't be hauled out because it's not a heavy industrial area?
No. Basically, what I said was, is the difference between a storage vehicles and wrecking yard is completely different. There's no dismantling on storage vehicles. When you store vehicles, you can't dismantle. You can't start taking parts away. It's not a wrecking yard.
So these vehicles could be from an accident and they're towed in there. They could be from a DUI where the car
Right.
gets impounded. They could be from a car that had drugs in it that gets impounded. All of these things, but they are not disassembled, and if they stay and aren't picked up by the owner, then they're sold to a wrecking yard.
Correct,
Within 30
yes.
days.
They're not messed with, they're not open. People, the owners come in, pick them up. If they can't pick them up, then, you know, they sign the title over and then they sell it to a junkyard.
Is this a new business then for this owner? Because the vehicles I saw when he was on across from the cemetery, it looked like they'd been there for decades.
No, there used to be there was a scrapyard south of that.
Okay.
And they were north of that, and they were sitting in like a point, or 3/4 of an acre. That's what they were sitting on. So he needed to acquire more land and was able to obtain these 4 parcels. He does have a bigger entity or a bigger business in Parker, where he does do business up in Parker. But in Yuma, he's been in Yuma for a few years, working off of Arizona Avenue. Or as also, he was able to rent the property before that.
Any other questions of this speaker? If not, thank you for sharing. We appreciate that.
So on the letter from the owner below,
You could give it to staff if they want, and then they could, but from a purely zoning issue, the ingress and egress doesn't make much difference to us. That would be that permitting process. Anyone else want to speak concerning this project? Yes, sir.
My wife was the one that, Chairman.
Name and address, please.
12520 South Avenue 4E.
As much as we want to be known just by our wife, we still have to give our name.
You don't understand.
No, I do.
We do.
The property, we're on Lot 8, been there for 25 years, or 26 years. And that property, when we heard that this was coming up, we went around or my wife did mostly, and contacted the neighbors, and no one in that 8 lots, in that subdivision, even wanted that there. They were fearful, and what this gentleman is describing, it may be what he's describing, but it seems to me like it could turn into something else real easy. The property, Troy Eckert, that is across the ditch, that 300-foot comes in, he said he didn't want it. I know that you guys have the petition, or whatever it's called, of signatures of people that were against it. And I haven't found anybody that said, no, we're for it. So it would be, hard to take that it could get messed up and we wouldn't have any recourse. So that's what I've got. You got any questions?
Any questions? Thank you again for sharing with us. Is there anyone else in tonight's audience that wants to speak concerning this rezoning case? If not, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to commissioners for discussion and action.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, this is the one that's a 213. So this in the recommendation based on that score is denial. Whoa, with this picture, no, go back where you were. Thanks, Richard. You know, basically on the south side, it's neighborhoods and homes and farmland. I object to losing more farmland, and certainly not to something as is described. I agree, it's industrial to the north, but that doesn't mean it has to go that way to the south. And I cannot vote for that. So incongruous looking at the aerial photo that is an appropriate use for that parcel of land. And it's irrigable to boot, so that's all I have to say.
I disagree because of the properties south of it are already industrial.
Well,
So-
that may be so, but it is not as described. It's not going to be as obtrusive as 10 acres of Rex. I don't, to me, it's a matter of quality of life with people who have lived here, again, for 25 and 30 years, and they have a quality of life. And there are so many things that make using it, whether it's a wreckage yard or not, whatever. When you look at the investments that all the other people have made, I mean, so far there's no investment in this ground other than the purchase of it. And it just doesn't, I don't know what kind of a fence it would be. And they would get a lot of stray animals and things in there, have wildlife. It's just, I just don't feel I feel it's incompatible with the area as it exists.
Any other, Commissioner Rice?
I have a question of staff. Is fencing required if it goes to industrial, light industrial?
Fencing would be required for certain along the east portion where the residences are.
Out of the whole 10 acres?
It wouldn't be necessary along the south and yeah, west. Potentially along the west as well.
Is the type of fencing required? In other words, is it a chain link wall or a brick wall, or does it have to be? What type of fencing is what I'm asking?
It'll be a type A fence along the east. That's going to be like a block wall.
Block wall.
Correct. No less than 6 feet in height. Additionally, they're going to need buffering and screening for whatever use that they're going to do on this property. It'll be required along where the residences are as well. So there will be, I believe, a 25-foot buffer along the east where no uses can take place. Can't put cars there. They can't. It's got to be maybe landscaping or something.
Commissioner
I have a
Mosqueda.
question. On the packet that we shared with the photos, the panoramic one, is that 88 and 89?
This one?
Yes, sir.
From what I understand, this is a vehicle storage lot that's not on this property. It's down the road someplace else.
Would that be in light industrial 88, 89, the Parker one that's Parker Towing?
No. No, this isn't Parker Towing.
This was just presented
This
as
was just presented as to what it
potentially
could
what the
look
view.
like somewhere down the
Could,
road.
okay, could is the word. Thank
This
you.
one was located someplace else, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, is there a motion on the table?
I'd second that.
There is a motion by Commissioner McDermott with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to recommend denial of rezoning case 26-02 as presented by staff. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Nay.
No, no,
Oh, wait, I know that I had to focus on my breathing there. So I do not want to move forward with what is presented.
so that you're a yay vote.
I'm a yay vote.
Okay.
Aye.
I'm a nay. I think it's okay.
I'm going to join Tim Bowers and nay, but I want to explain that. I mean, my heart goes out to the people who buy their dream homes in places that become industrialized. But, I mean, I think staff's recommendation is accurate that just from a land use perspective, taking away the political ramifications, this is an okay project. But I didn't fight hard against it, did I?
Okay.
So the recommendation to deny will go to the supervisor.
Wait, who's Garcia?
No, wait. Nay or yay?
I vote to deny the rezoning.
You vote for your motion.
Yes.
You vote for your motion to deny. Yeah, so that's a yay. You made a motion to deny.
To deny the
So you have
rezoning.
to vote yes on that motion if you want.
Okay. Then it's an aye. Must be late at night.
Yeah, we still have Hugo too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Hugo's sitting there. Hugo.
Asleep.
Nay.
Yeah. You're a nay?
I'm a nay, yes.
3-3.
So it's 3-3, so the recommendation will go forward without a recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, is his vote nay or aye?
We'll have to, okay. Hugo, let's explore your vote. Are you voting to recommend approval of this rezoning case? Or are you voting to recommend denial of this rezoning case?
Approval.
So that
I
does,
recommend approval.
that does make a 3-3 tie, which means that we go forward without a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. Is that accurate?
Correct.
So, tie vote.
Let them duke it out.
So,
I don't think we've ever tied.
yes, I don't know why I forgot Hugo. He wasn't here.
That's why I was like pointing, but he's invisible. You don't know where I'm pointing.
You tried your best to bail me out.
I tried to tell you.
All right, we'll move forward to item number 8 on tonight's agenda. Discussion by the commission and members of the planning, no, wait a second, number 7. Discussion concerning the possible text amendment to Yuma County zoning ordinance revising section 202, section 1102.02, and section 11.0602. Presenting for the county tonight is,
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner.
hi, Richard.
Right now, the computer is about as slow as me, so the PowerPoint is not popping up, but we can go forward if you want.
Yes, let's go forward.
Okay, so this is a discussion concerning a possible text amendment to revise sections 202, which is definitions, 110202, setback exceptions, and 110602, setbacks. Staff was instructed that to explore a possible text amendment to create a defined residential vehicle shade structure type and establish a limited side yard setback exception for that specific structure type. Oh, here we go. Staff researched some other jurisdictions, and we found the following. San Luis, the city of San Luis permits side yard setbacks to be reduced to 1 foot for shade structures on single-family residential R16 zoning districts when proof of compliance with IBC and NFPA 1 is provided and approved by the building official and fire department. The city of Yuma, the city of Phoenix, and Maricopa County all permit a 3-foot side yard setback. City of Chandler is a 5-foot. And Pima County is a little bit different. They apply zone-specific residential accessory structure setbacks. As an example, their CR2 single resident zone, the minimum side and rear is 4 feet. The proposed changes are shown here. The bold is added, strike through is removed, and this proposal creates a new definition, as I stated before, residential vehicle shade structure. It's a structure with aluminum or steel roof or canopy located on a driveway, side yard, or other area. 1102 also would be amended to allow that structure with a fabric canopy or aluminum steel roof covering to project into the required side yard and be located with a 0-foot setback. And finally, 110602 would be amended to add a specific exception to the normal 3-foot side and rear setback for accessory buildings so that the residential vehicle shade structure can be placed at a 0 side yard setback, and additionally ensures that the other accessory buildings maintain their normal setback. Building safety did have some comments. We received a memo from them. They're concerned that allowing the shade structures at 0 side yard would create life safety risks because it does eliminate fire separation distance, may involve combustible materials, and often places vehicles and RVs with fuel and electrical hazards directly against neighboring properties. They do recommend keeping the current 3-foot side yard setback, citing fire spread concerns and structural and footing issues under Yuma County's wind and seismic design conditions. And staff is recommending providing staff with input on moving forward.
That's a bold recommendation. But
Yes, it is.
a very smart one. So, as I understand this, one of our Board of Supervisors members is faced with a lot of non-conforming uses in a district, and he suggested that we consider making these changes to a 0 lot line for shade structures for vehicles. Now, I'm a little bit interested because in the 3 different areas you were saying, one of them required steel and aluminum, and the other 2, we said shade fabric could be used. Why is there a difference between the first one and the second and third one?
I may have typed too fast. This one says
Because they should all be equal, right?
Yes, they should be equal.
So are we doing aluminum and steel, which is not flammable, or are we doing shade structure, or which one would be accurate?
I would say that the aluminum and steel along with the fabric.
All 3.
Correct.
Did we get any comments from Rural Metro?
The only comments received were from building safety.
Only from building safety.
Down here.
Do any commissioners have questions of staff?
No, I just think it's a good thing. We just did this in Somerton, basically, and what it allows is people to get in compliance and also build more shade on your property. It just makes more sense to me. I think it's a good change.
Any other comments?
Isn't it the
Yes, but, well,
Bobby, Commissioner McDonald.
yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of one with the city, but the thing is that the existing stuff that's out there is, there's whatever anybody can put up. Consistency would be good. I don't believe that this stringent building code requirement, particularly of those made with steel and whatever, needs to be enough to hold hold a Titanic up. It's a piece of cloth, and they're normally open where the wind travels through, and it is quite onerous on homeowners that are just trying to create shade, which is what most everybody does the first thing when they come to Yuma, Arizona, is build shade. So I feel they should be as flexible as possible, and it and it would be nice if the county and the city kind of got together, but that's not going to happen. So the zero setback, I don't have any problem with mine. You know, the only way they're going to burn us is if it's arson.
Commissioner Bowers?
Yes, I are favoring, I'm leaning more towards the fire problem and what the city is saying. I think if we allow the zero setback, it's going to encourage people to store, stack, place things along that wall that is a fire hazard. And with our heat, things explode.
People do that anyway.
But aren't they? But they're more apt to do it if it's shaded, as opposed to just being in direct sunlight. Oh, these boxes will be in the shade. They'll be okay. Let's stack them up.
Oh, that's an interesting concept. I hadn't thought about people building structures to put their boxes in.
I mean, but the people in the side yards, we store stuff on our side yards.
Right, but this code says vehicle covers. It doesn't say boxes coverage. So.
Right. So if you're going to basically allow a person to go from their house to the wall with the shade, and so you're not going to, okay, I have all these Christmas ornaments, boxes and boxes. Am I going to put them 3 feet from the wall? I'm going to put them next to the wall. I'm going to put them next to the wall, of course. And so then that's going to attract the mice, whatever, in there. That's just on the other side of your wall. What if that was your neighbor and there's all this flammable stuff lined up next to your house?
Did I notice in this, is this different, or did I read it wrong, that if you adopt this zero shade lot line for shade, that no part of it could be enclosed?
If it's attached,
The structure shall be open on all sides.
Open on all sides. Does that mean from ground to roof?
the definition specifies if it's attached to the principal residential building, the only closed side shall be the side attached to the principal residential
And then
building.
the rest of it, I mean, what if they brought shades halfway down? Would that violate that code?
I would say yes.
I mean, that's got to be clarified because people do that a lot, right? They'll bring things down. I see Ty shaking his head. Ty, could you come up and answer a couple questions?
He's itching back there.
Ty Martinez, Chief Building and Fire Code Official.
Yeah. Yes. I see that you're not in love with this idea.
No, because a lot of the text messages I get from Rural Metro for fires are for RV storage. RV storage is usually what's being stored at the side yard setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And when they catch on fire, the adjacent property starts to feel the effects of the fire. And when you have gasoline, you have electronics, you have propane in those RVs, it's an issue. So that's why I oppose it, because of the amount of fires that we're getting from RVs.
I understand, but
Well, but the thing is, if it has a parking area that's at a zero, it's right against the fence. So it's right at the fence. So if you have a fire, that means it's that much closer to the next property over.
Yeah, it's too close.
But is a RV more likely to catch on fire if it's covered sitting next to the fence than if it's not covered?
But it promotes it because it's being parked at the zero lot line. And then once it catches on fire, then. So if it was so the way the city of Yuma has it right now, so we've adopted the city of Yuma's building code, which includes the amendment for the 3-foot separation. And the reason they've done that is to allow for the parking to be as close as it can be to match the zoning ordinance, but it also allows them to have some flexibility in the existing section of Chapter 3 when it comes to fire resistance construction. And if they're at a zero, then there is no fire protection.
And you get the pack rat neighbor, and there's gonna be boxes and clutter right against your wall.
And after a certain size, after you get past 200 square feet, they're going to be required to have permits and the footing sizing for these type of structures, because we have to consider it could be fabric or it could be metal roofing. The diaphragm is the diaphragm, but you could put fabric, you could put metal paneling on top. So once it has that, it's going to have a requirement for footings that are usually 3 foot by 3 foot. Now they're gonna push into the footings of the fence. The fence is could fall over. So it's not just about putting poles in the ground. It has to have some type of structural integrity. And to do that, you need footings at a zero lot line.
That's not gonna stop anybody from parking their motorhome next to their house.
Mr. Chairman,
That's
an RV
illogical.
is required to be 3 feet from the side property line.
Currently, an RV has to be parked 3 feet.
Yes.
That's code, otherwise they're in violation of the code. And if they violate the code, it won't catch on fire, right? I understand. I mean, it takes a lot to figure out if it would make more sense to keep people from covering the RV, because, I mean, we all see it. I mean, I doubt that there's a subdivision I can drive through and not find a zero lot clearance RV cover. So they're out there. They just don't have permits. Does that make them safer?
Mr. Chairman, we have received numerous complaints
Right, that's why I
for
say they're
those
out there.
structures, yes.
I know, but you haven't received a fraction of what's out there. You've received numerous complaints, and it's not a fraction of what's out there, because, I mean, all you gotta do is drive through subdivisions, and you see it. I mean, I see subdivisions that aren't even completed yet, that already have zero side drive for RV covers. So we don't enforce them. I mean, we have this, don't enforce unless you get a phone call. So we don't enforce it. So the folks who don't get a permit are able to cover their RV, and unless a neighbor complains.
There's nothing attached to your deed when you get it that tells you that everything you do in your yard, you have to get a permit for, or you have to get permission.
But I think it needs to, I mean, it needs a lot of discussion, because I could easily take Ty's side.
Yeah, but
I'm only addressing the structural and the fire safety portion of
Understand.
it, not so much the zoning requirements.
Mr. Vice Chairman?
Yes. Sorry, I need to look to my right.
You're fine. So I saw that you guys did some research with other municipalities in the state of Arizona. Is there an industry standard in the International Fire Code that maybe is something good for us to reference?
So the reference is actually going to be in the International Residential Code under fire resistant construction, and that addresses projections. It addresses walls. It addresses the requirements before it has to have 1 hour fire rating is the goal what the code is asking for. So a lot of these structures aren't going to have 1 hour fire rating. They're just going to be right up against the property line without any fire rating, which is going to jeopardize the property next to it, if there's something under it.
part of this is the Click It or Fix It program, where people can anonymously just turn in their neighbors and you have no defense. And you don't know who and you don't know why, because they won't tell you why. And it really is just seems kind of un-American to be able to do that. You ought to at least be able to meet your accuser and find out why they did that.
Well, we're talking about trying to change or changing a text amendment, and so I understand Ty's position. It could be easy to argue, but I would like to hear if the rest of the commission's okay, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to share what their thoughts are, and then we could decide. Yeah, we'll call you back if we need you, Ty. If you change your mind, just raise your hand, okay? Anyone in the audience? Public hearing portion is open. Anyone like to speak concerning this proposed text amendment?
This is what I was actually here for, Mr. Chairman. So, thank you. Aaron Selye at 728-07001. So first, let me provide some background to this and where this kind of came from. And honestly, the very first thing I want to do is say a recognition to Mr. Andrew Daniels of staff. He's done a fantastic job dealing with some of these complaints. He's had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of complaints. What actually happened was somebody went up and tried to build a structure with zero setback and was denied, got upset and started driving around the county and literally just reporting people. So with all of his complaints and everything that he got, I think he's managed the problem and the issue very well. He's worked very closely with me. I've helped remediate several of these structures and at least get them off the complaint list. So to that end, I met with one of the supervisors. We discussed what the actual problem was and what we can actually do as a solution for the county. And as Ms. McDermott said, everybody in Yuma just wants shade. So if we have a problem, we need to find a solution. This is one of them, I think, that makes the most sense. Fire's going to jump 3 feet. If a motorhome's on fire, 3 feet is not going to stop it from lighting the next 3 feet on fire. If we're talking about severe and difficult stacking of packaging and hoarding and stuff like that, it's a whole nother concern that this doesn't try to address. What we're trying to address is moving forward, how can we use staff's limited resources more effectively than driving around and trying to enforce something that's a shade structure in the foothills and all over the rest of Yuma County. I don't think it's a good use of staff's time or their limited resources. So this was born out of that concern, and I think overall this is a move in the right direction to allow property owners to construct things that are reasonable on their own property. Still requiring the top of the structure to be fire retardant and certified is a definite must. One thing I would add to this besides the cloth, aluminum, and steel is to be able to add solar panels on top. That's something that's changing a lot with a lot of carports, specifically that we are trying to put 16 to 20 panels on a carport and then power it independently to charge electric vehicles. Works fantastic. It's an easy way to do it, and with zero setback, it allows us more flexibility to be able to do that, and they are clearly fire retardant. The last thing I would say is I think we need to be moving this direction on more things. We need to allow more homeowners and more people to do more things on their property that just make sense. Having shade in Yuma County just makes sense. I stand for questions.
Anyone have questions? Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak concerning this proposed text amendment? So, what's the pleasure of the commission? I mean, we can run this up to the Board of Supervisors and get their take on it. I have some concerns. I mean, I'm not sure how cloth can be considered fire retardant at all. Maybe it is. Maybe there's some fire retardant cloth that don't burn. But is that accurate, Richard? Is some cloth fire retardant?
I'm going to defer to the expert.
Cloth has a testing, a rating to see when it starts to drip. City of San Luis has a rule regarding their fabric shade structure that it has to just basically poof. So it has to be a very flimsy type of cloth in order for it to just basically poof and not start to drip. So if you start getting a more, you're thinking if I get a heavier type of fabric, it's better. It would be better because it would last longer, but it also causes a dripping factor. So when it catches on fire, instead of flaming up, it starts to drip. So it can drip on people, it can drip on bystanders.
So why does the fire department, fire people want a 3-foot barrier, 3-foot border? What's the purpose of it?
Well, they always want access to the side of the property. You know, once the access is gone, then you're depending on whatever space you can find. You usually want to have a clear path from the front of the property to the back. So once you start having things at a zero, things get enclosed. It's just the way it works.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, having a structure 3 foot from the fence doesn't stop the doghouse from being 3 foot from the fence, or it doesn't stop the boxes from being stacked next to the fence. The pallets are there. So, I mean, that's not exactly an accurate thing, because if you have an RV cover that's 8, 10, 12 feet high that can't be enclosed unless from the house, you have no less access than you did between the fence and the post at 3 feet.
Sure.
Isn't that a reasonable argument?
I would have to figure the doghouse wouldn't have a footing underneath it though. So which is a return to a fabric shade.
What's the footing got to do with access?
But the access is because a doghouse can be pushed away, kicked
But
away.
if you got a post right up next to the fence and you're not going between the fence and the post, but you're going on this 6 inches of the post.
And I'm only going to address what's in the code. Doghouses do not qualify as a structure in the code, so I'm only going to address what's in the code.
How about the boxes and the pallets? I mean,
those are part of storage requirements of the fire code. So, so there's requirements for that. So I'm only going to address what's required by code. I won't play with doghouses.
You won't let me win this argument. That's what it is. No, I understand. I just don't believe in physicality when you're out there, whether your hose is on between the post and the fence or next to the post makes a real difference. I mean, the access is going to be there or it's not if it's an open structure.
Mr. Chairman, that's providing there is nothing parked under that structure. If there's an RV provided, parked under the structure, then you take the access out.
Well, that's true if the
For a vehicle.
RV and the post, but I mean, somebody had to open their doors. So you've got 2 or 3 feet from the edge of the RV to the post. I mean, otherwise they can't get out of their RV, right? I mean, if you just park it right up next to the thing. So I understand there's a lot of arguments, there's a lot of good arguments about keeping a 3-foot setback. 7 foot would be better if you just strictly worked on fire. But there's a lot of sun in Arizona, and there's a lot of areas we don't have. So we're allowing people who don't want to play by the rules the ability to shade their RV. We're just not allowing people who want to play by the rules a chance to shade their RV. And I think we at least got to have the discussion, or we should have the discussion and see what the supervisors think.
I'd like to make a
Commissioner
comment from
Mosqueda.
one of my former careers. When I was the executive director of the American Red Cross, I went to a lot of residential fires, specifically mobile homes, and heat transfer is no joke. And I've seen a single unit, I mean, back in the day, and I don't think it's any different now, heat transfer, you can obliterate a whole string of units in seconds with that. And I think that's where it lends itself well. And I think it's probably different with a residential formal structure vice a mobile home or something, but I know it's applicable here for that.
So 3 feet will moderate?
It buys you time. It
Okay.
buys fire time to get there. It buys the homeowner or neighbor a little time to get a hose in hopes of delaying until fire gets there. That's just my opinion from what I've seen.
And yeah, it seems like you have a big campfire, being right on the campfire, being 3 feet back, it's a big difference.
I burnt some boots before.
And it,
right? The bottom of my soles.
and I think 3 feet does make a difference if an RV's on fire next door. Tremendous difference, especially if your roof is 4 feet away from that.
Just to add, the rule for the city of Yuma, they can't have anything going down the side. It's a completely open shade structure. The shade is only on top and nothing goes down the side.
And that would probably be an important thing to have if we were to proceed with this closer side yard setback. That would be probably a requirement. Any other questions of Ty? Anyone else in the audience want to speak? If not, what's the pleasure of the commission? Do we want to run this up to the Board of Supervisors and get their take on it?
I would prefer we did that. Send it up to them and let them figure it out.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rice to forward this to the supervisors for comment. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
And the second is by Commissioner Mosqueda. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Mr. Chairman, we have one of the commissioners on the phone.
Bryce, I was waiting for him to respond. Commissioner Garcia? Commissioner Garcia, are you still with us?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the motion and the second was to send this proposed text amendment up to the Board of Supervisors for comment.
No, I'm for it.
You're for it? Your vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, so the vote is 4-2 to forward it to the supervisors for comment. Right? You were opposed?
Yes.
Forwarded. No, wait a second.
I was for it.
Chairman, can we get a roll call?
Yeah, let's do a roll call. Now, just for clarity, the motion and the second is to forward this proposed text amendment to the Board of Supervisors for their comment and direction.
Which allows zero for shade structure.
Yes.
Zero setback from
Right.
your neighbors from the wall.
Zero. I misunderstood it then.
Yeah, it's
Then I
zero.
rescind
Yeah.
my second.
We like the 3 feet.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
I absolutely rescind my second.
Yes.
Is there a second?
I don't think there's a first. I don't think there's a first anymore.
I'll second.
I'm still all for it.
Ron has a first.
Okay. So are we voting for zero setbacks on the structure side
What we're,
Yes.
yeah,
or 3 feet?
let me explain it again. There is a motion by Commissioner Rice. There is a second by Commissioner McDermott to forward this proposal or this proposed text amendment to the Board of Supervisors for comment. It still has to come back to us, but we're going to decide if they want us to move forward with it by sending it to the board, letting them massage it and bring it back in a form that they would be willing to approve, or tell us that they don't want to. So a yes vote just sends this up to the Board of Supervisors for comment.
Got it. Got you.
So now we're going to do a roll call vote.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
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 Ooh, that was painful.
Took a while.
Sorry.
It was good. So the recommendation will go to send up to the Board of Supervisors for their comment and direction. Item number 8 on tonight's agenda is discussion by the commission members or planning director of any events or current events attended or any schedule of future planning and commission meetings. Anyone have anything to offer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, starting next month for the June P&Z Commission meeting, the meetings will be held at the new County Administration Building.
How do we
Starting
get
at
there,
5
Maggie?
p.m.
Where's parking?
Where do we enter the building? I've never been in that building.
Same.
Would park on the maiden side of the building?
Main Street?
At East and walk around to Main Street.
Behind the building,
Park
on
near
the
Luke's.
east side,
Yes,
towards the railroad.
We have a lot of people talking though. So we have to come around to Main Street.
Yes.
So we park on Main Street if there's room. If there's not, you park behind the building, walk around and come in the main door
On Main Street.
on Main Street. Understand. So that's next month at 5 p.m.
And so once we're inside the building, we look for the,
Where do we go?
Auditorium.
Can't miss it.
There's only one auditorium,
Okay.
so,
okay.
okay.
Tell them you're invited by Heidi.
Could you put our names up and say over here?
You want to take my nameplate?
That's what I was just gonna ask, if we surrender
Yeah.
this or not.
No, you
Okay.
will have access to
Okay.
it, but we'll show you where
Perfect.
to go and have.
So we no longer need these.
No, those will still work.
Oh, we still need these.
I don't
All
know if
right.
I still have mine.
Any,
Can you send me an email?
anything else? Get Ron. I'll meet you out there, Ron.
Let me in the door.
All right.
What's the secret code?
Anything else on current events? If not, let's go to call to the public. Is there anyone in the audience tonight who wants to speak about anything? Seeing no one, we'll close call to the public, and this meeting stands adjourned.
Hey.
How did we have half the people? Yeah.